On the note of forecasting, any best practices that you've seen around forecasting? Some businesses, are just more transactional, high velocity models. Those are easier to forecast. Some businesses have big enterprise sales motions. And so, certainly for the high velocity, transactional businesses, that might be a little bit easier, but for companies that are going after closing big enterprise deals, you're elephant hunting, what is a best practice around forecasting? Even if you're private, right, you're forecasting to the board, your board's holding you accountable, even if the public markets aren't. What do you see as best practices that even private companies can apply?
Yeah, it's a great question, and you're right. I mean, it's like the lumpiness is, especially in public markets, right, can make or break you. So trying to figure out, best ways to dial that in. I mean, I think a lot of it is sort of, back to the cadence internally of managing the day to day, the week to week, the dashboards, that the team is looking at, the ability to kind of see things on a real time basis. Anything companies or CFOs or finance teams can do to automate some of that, so that you really are getting real time information to be able to make decisions and flex. As you start to see deals falling out of the pipe, you go chase the new ones coming in, right? I mean, I think the really great sales teams are outstanding at that, and they that gets back to like, who's the talent around the table, and are they really we haven't talked on that yet, but I mean, I think that's one of the things, is like the people that have maybe served you for the last 3 to 5 years, can they really take you where you want to go the next 3 to 5 years? And that's a classic case, like CROs are sort of in the spotlight from that standpoint. So anything you can do to sort of be able to have the team that's been there, done that has seen the scale, that has seen the type of volatility, if you will, if in terms of like what you're describing, the lumpiness, in the enterprise business, that's helpful, because then they can sort of redirect and go pick off, hopefully, and close, new business to compensate for that. And I see that real time all the time, because I focus on a lot of companies that have that type of profile.
Yeah, and I would just want to amplify that for the earlier stage companies, this idea of systems, data, real-time visibility, even if you're at the 5 million ARR range, I think you need to be thinking about those topics, because that's what's going to allow you to scale very quickly to 50. And I would also argue, in the later stage companies, you might be able to track the CRO who's built all that out before. In the earlier stage companies, to your point, Kimberly, you might not be able to. So who owns that? The CEO owns that. And so maybe a difference with earlier stage companies, the CEOs have to take direct ownership and responsibility of putting in that harness, in place to have visibility into, deals, activity, revenue, what's working, what's not working, as opposed to hoping the CRO will do it. Because just the reality is, for early stage companies, you might not be able to attract that early stage CRO who can do those things. I'll bring other skills. But ultimately, if you put that in place early, that's going to allow you to scale, and the whole go-to-market function, both marketing and sales, will be able to take advantage of that system.